In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. The Lord be with you. I will sing to the Lord, for he is glorious, triumphant. Horse and chariot he has cast into the sea. Alleluia. 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 The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. John. Glory to you, O Lord. The crowd said to Jesus, "What sign can you do that we may see and believe in you? What can you do? Our ancestors ate manna in the desert, as it is written, he gave them bread from heaven." So Jesus said to them, "Amen, amen, I say to you, it was not Moses who gave bread from heaven. My Father gives you the true bread from heaven. For the bread of God is that which comes down from heaven and gives life to the world." So they said to him, "Sir, give us this bread always." And Jesus said to them, "I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never hunger, and whoever believes in me will never thirst." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
As priests, I get to travel now. I won't speak for all priests, but certainly I do. And I love to come to new places. I love to see places, especially places that relate to the heart of our Christian faith. Yes. And this is one of those special moments, and I've had them on many occasions, and you feel almost a shiver up your spine, especially as you stand at the altar of the Lord to celebrate, and you know, not just 2,000 years of Christians, but even before that. The church itself goes back to the 4th century, Father just told me. You can see the Greek mosaics here, what's left of them. This is a brand new church, opened in October or so. But this is a holy site. This has been a site that has been associated with the Judeo-Christian religion for millennia. We truly do stand on holy ground. If you don't feel it, there must be something really deeply wrong with you. You're on the wrong trip. Because I'm feeling it all over the place, I gotta tell you. Knowing that this is the place where Moses stood. Moses who encountered the Lord in so many ways in his life. And isn't that what we have come on this pilgrimage for? To encounter the Lord. Two things strike me as we were traveling and watching and hearing Elias and Steve talk this morning on the bus. Two things. One is the fidelity of God. God promised Abraham, and God fulfilled that promise. And he fulfilled it beyond Israel's wildest dreams. And he fulfilled it beyond humanity's wildest dreams in the person of Jesus Christ. So we hold on to that fidelity. That in a world that is so messed up, in a world that is so torn by strife and division, our God is ever faithful. And he has fulfilled the promises that he made first to Abraham. And we need to have confidence in our relationship with our God, both as a community of faith, as the church, and also as individuals. The God we worship is a God who is ever faithful. The other thing, as I was looking out, and I know we passed some areas where we're very rich and very fertile, but then there were areas that were very rocky and very sandy. And I thought to myself, if you were going to believe in a God, and you lived in or were passing through that area, you had to believe in a God who was strong. You had to believe in a God who had strength, a God who would be faithful. You had to believe in a God who could defeat all the other deities around. And you can see why the people of Israel stuck so close, because their relationship with God was so intimate and so profoundly personal. The God that they worshipped was not simply transcendent, but he actually intervened in their lives, clearing the pathway for them, for faithfully fulfilling the promises, making it all happen and come together. And that is extraordinary for us to believe in our world, Because we've become so cynical in so many ways. We don't see God at work in the way that the ancients did. Because sometimes we're so blinded by our own, what we perceive to be our own abilities, that we don't always see God at work. Moses and those who have gone before us, they had a heart that was open to God at work in their lives. And I think whenever we set out on a pilgrimage, I know we sometimes set out for a variety of different reasons. One, it's an interesting vacation. It's something to tell the children about, or your work friends about. But ultimately, there may be even a little fear at times when we set out on pilgrimage. But ultimately, what I have discovered in my own pilgrimage experiences are that you come because God has invited you. Our decision is a response to that divine invitation to draw near, to come into this holy space, just as Moses was brought to the burning bush. Just as Moses was led to this mountain so that the Lord could show him the fulfillment of the promises that he made years and years before to Abraham. You and I, on this pilgrimage, have been brought to this holy place so that we might see in a deeper and more meaningful way in our own lives and in the life of our church, God faithfully at work. And then we have to bring that message home. Because a pilgrimage is not supposed to end just at the moment when we get off the plane and get into our cars and throw our luggage back into the back of the boot of the trunk of the car. I fell into an Englishism there. Pilgrimages are meant to change us, to change our hearts. I think when we stand in this holy place, we have the capacity to each of us allow the Lord to change our hearts a little more this day. To be like Moses, to be like those who followed Moses. To allow the God who is ever faithful, the God who is strength itself, to be our faithful companion on this great pilgrimage of life, this great adventure that he has drawn us into. So let us give thanks to the Lord. Amen.
Amen.